Hello everybody and welcome to Hull City Transfer Talk. On this week's edition we talk about Dishon Bernard coming in from Manchester United, the potential of bringing a youngster in from across Manchester as well from the other side, from Manchester City, an update on the transfer embargo and an agreement Hull City have found with the EFL, an update on Tom Huddleston, whether he'll be coming in or not, and a few more rumours about ins and outs as well. Yes, welcome along everyone to Hull City Transfer Talk. This is the 11th one of these which I've brought for you this summer, and we are just 3 days away from the start of the season. Previews are back on Friday. Not only that, an away match day vlog is coming your way on Saturday evening after the Preston game. You'll be pleased to know as well, this week I'm not lispy. The retainer isn't in, the retainer has come out. For now anyway. Yeah, all very, very good. So we'll start off with the ins this week then. Only one being Dishon Bernard came in from Man United came in from Man United, one of their younger centre backs. Grant McCann spoke about this the other day, yesterday actually, on the BBC on Radio Humberside. He reported that they've had to wait to get Dishon. It's because with the bigger sides, I've just dropped my keys. My God, because with all the with all the bigger sides having to wait to get the big players back from the Euros and the Copa America this summer, and in some cases the Olympics as well. I mean, Pedri for Barcelona, he's played a lot of games at club level for Barca. He was called up to the Euros where Spain got to the semi-finals and had to play extra time in 2 games in the knockout stages. And then he's in the Spain Olympics squad as well, where they've reached the final and will play Brazil. So he's 18, he should be out. He should be sunning it out in the Bellerics if he's representing Spain. But anyway, yeah, so that's why Man United, that's why we've had to wait to get Dishon, and McCann is very impressed. He showed his qualities from the highlights that we've seen in the game against Man United. We've shown the qualities that McCann wants him to have. Very, very excited about this signing, and he's not going to be the last signing that we make this summer. An update on the embargo. Grant McCann told this on Radio Humberside as well. He did an interview last night, Tuesday night, about the transfer embargo, because obviously bringing Dishon in means that all the stuff with Callum Jones and Jordan Flores and them still counting in the squad is sorted. Now, McCann has said that they've come to an agreement with the EFL where if they loan a player out, they can bring in a player on loan to replace them, basically. Doesn't have to be position for position, they can just take up that place in the squad. So that is why Dishon has come in, and there's also another player loaned, which is one of them. Well, Dishon will replace either Callum Jones or Jordan Flores. The other one will be replaced by another arrival we're expecting within the next 24 to 48 hours. And we'll get onto that just in a moment. But first of all, we've got a rumour, according to Hull Live. We've been linked with this guy ever since we dropped out the Premier League. Every single summer transfer window, we've been linked with this guy. It's never come off. Surprising. But it's just, you know, it's just a yearly thing. We have to be linked with him So Marvin Johnson was linked by Hull Live after leaving Middlesbrough, free agent. However, he has now gone to Sheffield Wednesday. On the Gavin White front, there won't be a return for him. He's gone to Oxford. And Dan Crowley, he was on trial with Cheltenham. He's not gone there. He was on trial with Doncaster. He's not gone there. And he played last night, Tuesday night, for Gillingham. So I'd have thought Dan Crowley would have walked into any League One team. But he's struggling to find somewhere. Cheltenham, newly promoted, don't want him. Doncaster, who should have been in the playoffs last year, should have been fighting up the top with us. But Darren Moore went, and look where he is now. We're playing in the same division as Donny. Yeah, shame. Shame for Dan Crowley. See, he was in like the BBC's "These lot are going to be fab at Euro 2020" squads. There was Jack Wilshere in there, Dan Crowley, Nathaniel Clyne was in there. That was done in 2015, 6 years later. Right then, on to the good stuff now though. In fact, shall I say? Nah, we'll leave the absolute bollocks one till last. So, Hull Live, City closing in on central midfielder Matt Smith from Man City. That's what I was talking about in the intro. There was, the initial rumour was an unnamed player. So people were saying, is it Matt Smith? Is it Tommy Doyle? Is it Claudio Gomez? People were saying Morgan Rogers, but one, he's not a central midfielder. That's exactly what we're in the market for, and that was disclosed in the initial article. Two, people were saying Liam Delap. No. He was supposed to be going to Stoke, but that move looks off now as well. And it has turned out it is Matt Smith. I can assure you that McCann will say basically the same thing. Man City getting all the players back from the Euros now, and they're close, as I'm recording, they've agreed the deal for Jack Grealish. They're close to completing it. So by the looks of things, this deal hinged on the arrival of one Jack Grealish. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk it? So that's expected to be confirmed within the next 24 hours, 48 hours. They're expecting that deal to be fully confirmed, and we will have Matt Smith in. In case you're wondering as well, by the way, Deshaun Bernard will wear number 24. He wore that in the friendly, which he played in. And that, I don't expect any change in that. So the numbers left are numbers 20, 23 and 28. So I can see if we bring Tom Huddleston in, him taking the 23 that he's worn against Scunthorpe and against Manchester United. And then I can see Matt Smith coming in, maybe taking... I can see him taking 28. So I don't see us giving him the number 20 because that's Jared's number. That was Dan Crowley's number, so I can see that being reserved for an attacking signing if we need that in January. So Matt Smith on his way in. That looks a very exciting signing, and he should arrive in time to feature against Preston. Great fun, absolutely great fun. Another little snippet from Grant McCann's Radio Humberside interview here. This is touching on Tom Huddleston. This is that Huddleston's still in and around the group. He's involved in everything. He's involved in every gym session, every training session. He's getting to know the boys are getting to know him, and he's loving being around Cottingham every day. McCann will sit down with him at some point and discuss both of their interests in what they want to do. When McCann was asked about it, he seemed very coy on it. He was very quiet, wasn't giving anything away. But he's always like that. Whenever he's talking about players, potentially moving in. He even said on Radio Humberside the other day when asked about transfer rumours, I prefer to keep all that. We prefer to keep our business quiet. So I think that tells you really all you need to know. That there's still a chance Huddleston will come in. I mean, it'd still be a great asset for the club. Legend status, coming back, it'd be great. It would be phenomenal. And I hope it comes off. I really hope it comes off, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. And finally, from @HU7Massive02 on Twitter, Gary Cahill spotted in Cottingham. I know. That's going to be, after leaving Crystal Palace, I can guarantee you now, that if Gary Cahill comes to Hull City, I will swim in the River Humber. There you go. And trust me, I do not want to swim in that. It's cold and a mud bath. I do not want to swim in that. So, there you go. If Gary Cahill signs, I'll swim in the River Humber. And then also, the only reply to that tweet is, what's he doing coming in to say sorry after basically killing our record signing from someone? Ended Ryan Mason's career, didn't he? So maybe that is why he's in Cottingham. But I can see that being absolute shite, basically. And I've been going for about 11 minutes already. Wow. Alright, on to the outgoings then. According to Alan Nixon, a journalist at The Sun, City want to offload Jordan Flores permanently. Been loaned out to Northampton this season. A lot of Northampton fans, having watched him in pre-season, already saying that they would take him permanently. Just never really got going in a City shirt last season, had a load of injuries. Then the form of Slater, the form of Alfie Jones, and Richie Smallwood been the captain and playing really well as well, keeping him out of the squad. James Berry, who we let go a few weeks ago, is on trial at Altrincham after his City exit. We let him go to free up squad space, I do believe, because he's still counted in our 25. Ryan Hansen, a man who we released from the academy towards it was in our release list before we had the embargo announced. A few weeks ago he joined Dover. I saw that at the time and just decided not to report it, but I thought I'm reporting anything and everything here. Reporting Gary Cahill from a guy on Twitter, so I might as well just tell you this as well, because it's actually confirmed. So there you go. He was on loan there last season, was Ryan Hansen. He got sent off in his first game for the club, I do believe, which is incredibly strange. And he featured, when did he feature? He was on the bench for when we played, Leicester's under 21s, under 23s last year in the Papa John's group stage. According to Hull Live again, James Scott is leaving City for St Mirren. However, since then, the Daily Record has said that St Mirren are no longer interested in James Scott. They have pulled out of the deal. So, what else? There are a few other clubs interested in Scott, report the Daily Record. All of them Scottish sides. But to give you a bit of an idea of who those are, 3 weeks ago, Football League World reported, I said this on this show at the time, that St Mirren, who are now not interested, according to this report, Dundee United, St Johnstone, who were leading the race for Scott at the time, Hearts, were all interested in him. That's just me keys jangling. I'm sorry about that. And Hull Daily Mail's Hull Live, Hull City correspondent Barry Cooper said on Twitter that Scott would, if any move for Scott would most likely be a loan deal. Because the club aren't keen on a permanent option because they're only 20 years old. First player we've signed for over £1 million. well, for £1 million or more since our first transfer window outside the Premier League in 17-18 summer with Leonid Slutsky at the helm. We're not going to want to cash in that quickly. We're going to try and develop him somewhat to try and make a profit. And he also reported that Thomas Meyer also looks likely to move on. Now this is interesting, this. I'm just going to have a sit down for this one. I've been going 15 minutes, Jesus. I did spend about 4 minutes talking about Deshaun Bernard though. So yeah, I'm going to have a sit down here while I just tell you about this one. So Thomas Meyer is apparently likely to be moved on. Now, interesting thing about this is McCann many times has said Thomas is a great lad, great player. He's just struggled to get suited to English football. So if that was a loan or a permanent, it'd be very interesting as to which one it is. If it's a permanent, I wouldn't expect that. But it'd make sense for it to be a permanent when you think the lack of time he played last season. But based on what McCann said about him, I wouldn't expect it to be that way. And I don't think anything will happen at the minute with that over the next week or so, because Thomas Meyer and Randall Williams have both tested positive for COVID. Harvey Cartwright tested positive earlier in the pre-season period as well. He missed the Mansfield and Scunny friendlies with that after his positive test and isolation and what have you. And there's also McCann reported after the Man United game that Sean McLaughlin was awaiting the results of a PCR test. So for Thomas Meyer, I don't expect anything to happen at the moment because he's in isolation after testing positive, but maybe do as we get later on in the window towards deadline day. And that's your lot for Transfer Talk this week. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please do leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you on Friday for a match preview, and on Saturday for an away days match day vlog. Can't wait for that. Come on. See you later, everyone. Goodbye.